Hey yo, what's going on everybody? My name's Derek, this is Fatal RPM, and in today's video, we are once again going to be working on the Z. However, first, what I do want to say is I'm going to be supplementing some of the content here in with 335 content for those who have been following the 335 build and still watch the videos here on the channel. Maybe not as much anymore because it doesn't really pertain to you, but if you're at all interested in the project, go ahead and check it out as well. And the main reason why is because I've been really dropping the ball on this whole upload schedule thing over the past couple weeks, and that's mainly because I've just been running to issue after issue. This is just with life, not necessarily with cars, even though 335 has been kind of a pain, especially recently. I'm just now getting here after all day trying to get to the garage with my ECU not updating for my air suspension, but that's neither here nor there. What we're going to be getting done on the 335, more than likely in the next video or the one after, is we need to get some other suspension stuff done, as well as finish up the front part of the suspension. No, I still haven't installed it. Yes, I'm waiting to record it. Yes, I am honestly kind of scared of ripping apart the front part of my suspension, but you know, it's whatever. We're going to have to get an alignment on that car anyway. But what we're going to be getting done here on the 300ZX today, you might be wondering, why do I have my roofs off? Well, lighting. Why are both of them off? Don't worry about it, I have a process. We're going to be installing the quick release from the Genesis, and if you have not seen that and want to kind of see how I started out here on YouTube, go ahead and check out the video up there. However, I had a quick release on my Genesis. It was a Sparco quick release, and we're going to go ahead and fit that to here. I was unable to find it when I first installed the wheel in the video up there, but in addition to the quick release install, we're also going to be checking out the short shifter. But the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start the install of the wheel. Now, I'm not going to get super in detail with it. The one thing I will, however, get in detail with is wiring up the horn. And that's because wiring up horns on aftermarket steering wheels honestly is kind of a bit of a pain, but I have found a way around it. Same thing I did on my Genesis, I'm going to do on this. And essentially what that is on the back of these steering wheels, you generally have a pad that looks like this. And this is essentially your ground. And how it works is, or I can't remember if it's the ground or the power. Either way, essentially what happens is whenever you hit your horn, you ground it out, but it needs a way to keep in contact with it. And the way to do that is by using, where did I just put that? Here we go. By using something along the lines of this. And the reason why I picked this is because it's super flexible. Like I can actually bend this like very easily, like with just the pressure in my fingers, which will allow me to get it into place and it won't necessarily break anything. And it's usually mounted somewhere on the plastic behind the steering wheel. So we're going to go ahead and get the steering wheel off. I'll show you how to wire that all up. And then after we do that, we'll go ahead and jump over to the short shifter. And then I also have a little explanation on something else I want to be getting done. But let's go ahead, hop in the car. It is freezing in here, and get started on this. So what we're going to first do here is we're going to get this screw out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and remove this center bolt, only because it's going to make our life easier, and then we'll remove the wheel. So in ways of making our life easier, this is not going to work. I can't actually get it in there. Crap, I need an extension. Ugh. All right, so one extension later, and we make our life a little bit easier, a couple seconds at a time. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, give this thing a little tap. If you haven't already, make sure your wheel is locked so it doesn't move around a whole bunch whenever you're doing this. But it's kind of hard to do with one hand. But essentially what you want to do, you want to give it a couple smacks, and there you go. Came right off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and slide it back on. And what we're going to do is go ahead, use some screws here. with the appropriate bit, which I probably don't have in this kit, but we're gonna go ahead and take off all these hexes like that. So I left the one screw in because that's the one that will drop the steering wheel down. So once we get that off, we can go ahead and set the steering wheel to the side. And we then finish taking off this bolt here. And then we go ahead and pull this one off. Now we know that we're pretty much straight up, we're just off at an angle. So if you do forget, there is a little dot right there on the stem, I'm just gonna call it a stem, to mark where your straight up and down is. So what we're gonna do from here is, the thing that I really like about this hub too is it has something that can disengage the clock spin here, but that's aside. What we need to do is we need to go ahead and pull the wiring out from under here so that we can figure out which wire it's going to be that we're gonna have to wire in. And that's gonna be hard for me, but really easy for you because it's going to be this wire here. So once we get that all figured out, what we're going to then want to do is we're going to use a self-tapping screw into the plastic with the wire stripped off, grounded off as well onto this housing here. So let's get into that. So we went ahead and got the wire pulled out. Now all we got to do is get that self-tapping screw in there. And to make my life a lot easier, in the name of making life a lot easier, I went ahead and drilled a pilot hole just to make things a little bit simpler. And all we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and crush the lead or the end of this wire here in between the screw and the mount here. So now that we got that crushed in there, all we got to do is make sure that the back side of this is going to make contact with this. So how we do that, you might ask? Well, we're going to go ahead and identify the top, which on this thing, I forget exactly where it is. There's not an indicator on here, which is, you know, lovely. So I'm just gonna guess and assume that this is the top. So we're gonna go ahead and line those two up. There we go, as best as we could. Actually, it could be one spline over. There you go. So now what we gotta do is go ahead and look back here. We can see it's not touching. So we need to pull that out a little bit. There we go. Because we don't want this to scratch it. So worst case scenario, we'll go ahead and cut this tab off. We want mainly this side that I just bent up right there to be in contact with this because it's a lot smoother. And the other thing you can do is you can go ahead and put a little bit of dielectric grease on here just to make sure that things work smoothly and there's no weird noises coming. So we're lined up. Go ahead and look in the back and we are touching. So now all we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, grab the nut, put the nut back on, and all we got to do just to make sure that the horn works and that's making full contact is tap these and there you go, it's working. So let's go ahead, get this guy bolted all the way down with the help of my happy impact. There you go, tighten down, all lined up, nice and straight. And then what we're going to do is we need to go ahead and grab this guy off of here because this is going to be our quick release so that I'm able to actually take the wheel off of here, which, you know, with T-tops and manual, very useful to keep somebody from stealing your car. Even though this is basically a millennial anti-theft device anyway, but I digress. So we need to go ahead, take these bolts off of here, transfer this to this, and this basically just mirrors this on the other side, so there'll be a place to plug either of those two in. So now that we have this on here, horn's still working, as you can see. We went ahead and attached the quick release to the steering wheel. I had the center point already marked on here, so gotta do, oh, that didn't work. As you can see, there we go, we're all on here. So unfortunately, it always seems to be unfortunate, but I'm missing the main piece that goes on the outside here that actually holds my horn on. So like if I wanted to go and put this on, because of the issues that I had with this stuff fitting behind the horn, I had to cut the little nubs off that actually keep it in the spot. So I actually can't run the horn without the other piece that goes around this. And I remember seeing it at my house like a week ago. So hopefully it's still where I remember it. So we'll come back to this. The horn is basically done. As you can see, it was still working. You just need to connect these two things here, and then that's all done. So now it's time to move on to the main event, the short shifter. So as far as what I can see, we just have 4 Phillips screws here to go ahead and get to that. But first, we need to go ahead and take this guy off. But once we get this guy off, we can go ahead and take that shield off with the boot on it. Now, the interesting part is going to be accessing the actual shifter bolts under this guy, because I'm pretty sure 2 of them are like under here, which if it is, I can't really get to them, or like under here, because the opening, well, you'll see. So I took the 4 screws out as well as the whole center console, and that's only because mine is only attached with 2 bolts up there, or 2 screws up here. So it's a lot easier for me to take off my center console. As you can see, there would be 2 inside of the glove box, actually maybe with a 3rd, and then this 4th one here would be like under a little centerpiece there. But if you want to, you can go ahead and take it off. I don't think you have to, really. I just went ahead with the pry bar under here because it was not trying to come up with hand strength, so went ahead, pried this up a little bit, and we got the boot under here. All right, so thank you for bearing with me through that. Like I said, just slides right off. Ugh, gross. Slides right off. So we got 6 bolts. 2 here, 2 on either side of it there. There's also 2 more back here, which is going to be really hard to see on the camera. Now, as far as getting to it, looks like, honestly, you can get to that with a ratcheting wrench. So let's actually see if that'll work. There's a lot of spider webs in here. This is really gross. All right, so just a quick debriefing. This is not possible without, 1, a ratcheting wrench and a large amount of patience, or a crow's foot that can stick all the way back there, and also a large amount of patience. And the reason why is because I feel like whoever put this in here was trying to spite me, like personally, like they had something against me, because this, regardless of where I put it, was always just barely in the way. So I tried to use this first, which was not working, because like I said, each time I put it on, like it was just barely in the way, like it would lock in perfectly here, and by the time it would start trying to move the bolt, it was hitting this thing already with it in reverse, like it was already hitting it. Even with it in 5th, as you can see, I already took it off, and I forgot that I already took it off. But the ones that are the difficult ones to get to are those 2, well, mainly that one and that one. This one because it's so close to this, so it's really hard to get a socket on it, because the reason why this one's difficult and not really that one is because once you get this guy out, that one's a breeze, because you got all this space that you can work with a ratcheting wrench, as you can go back and forth from over here. Unlike with another bolt sitting across from it, you only have that much space. So now that we have this guy off, hopefully this hasn't been dripping oil, or, oh, it has been dripping. Oh, it's been. So this is the short shifter. Now, if you haven't seen the video of where I've shown pretty much everything that I have for this build, I'll go ahead and link it up there. But this is a MaxSpeedingrods short shifter. This is what we're going to be installing on the Z, and looks like it's going to transfer over like 1-to-1. That's usually what they say, is like you have to replace the bushing, but like this one has the same exact bushing. So honestly, we should be good on this. But if you want to go ahead and pick this one up, I'll leave a link down below. It is a affiliate link, so if you do decide to buy it, please do use my link, and I'll get a little kickback. Like I say, everything that I get from this channel will go back into the channel, as I am trying to make this something more than just a hobby. But now that we got this thing off, I'm gonna go ahead, whoa, there's springs under here. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this guy off, and then we'll slide it back on. Found the light. So now you guys can actually see what's going on down here. So you can see you got the two guys down there. They're pretty easy to get to once you get your hand down in there. If you have long fingers, it might be a little easier too. My hands aren't like super thick, but I have rather large hands and long fingers, so it's not too terrible to get to. But I'm gonna put these two in here first. Make sure these bolt holes are lined up. They are. Get these screwed in part of the way. And then we'll send them home. There you go. And with those two just quickly tightened down. Oh my God, that's Notchy. Oh, this is like a completely different car. This is why I love short shifters. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and reverse. Reverse is like basically standing up, so that's a little scary, but got very little play. Here, let's do it with the handle on here. I don't know if this is going to thread on. Will it? Yes, it does. All right, cool. Same threads. OE threads, so it's backwards, but as you can see, oh my God, I like it. I'd be careful with that reverse, but first, second, third, fourth, third, fourth, third, fourth, 3 to 4. The throw's about, what's that, about 3.5 inches? Yeah, just about 3 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and button this all back up and get right back to you guys. All right, so everything's back on, and I just cannot get over how this feels now. Like, it feels like a brand new transmission. I don't like hunting for neutral. This seems like a very expensive mistake to make, because if I go like first, second, or that was third, but if I go first, second, third, and now I'm gonna go back into neutral, if I bump it back, I don't always get to neutral. Like this time I do, but like say I'm in fourth and I bump it forward. Okay. Now it's trying to make a fucking liar out of me. I don't appreciate this. Okay, whatever. It wasn't going back. I guess it's because I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop before I go crazy. But I like the way that it shifts. It shifts really nice, and it's awesome. I like it. It's notchy. I mean, you can hear it. Like, it just feels nice. Okay, I'm done talking about how nice this feels. I've been rambling, but it's funny, actually. This is everything that we have gotten done today. We got the short shifter and good old quick release steering wheel. This is the most we've gotten done in a single video in literal weeks, which I find honestly kind of sad. That's 100% my fault though. So, hold on. Sorry. But like I said earlier in the video, wait, hold on. This is the most that we've gotten done in the last couple videos, and I can't honestly be more sad of myself because I feel like I'm just kind of stumbling around with this build as far as like the bodywork goes, and I wanted to do more like that and that, but it was just kind of, I don't know why I haven't really done anything with it. But now we're actually moving on to more stuff. Like I said, I'm going to supplement some of the other content in with the 335 stuff, and also some more fun videos that I honestly think everybody will start to enjoy here coming up. So, like always, I want to thank you for watching the video. One second. As always, I want to thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, go ahead and like it down below. If you want to see more videos coming from me with my 300ZX or my 335Xi, go ahead and hit the subscribe button along with the bell icon right next to it so you do get notified whenever I drop that new video. As always though, I want to thank you again for watching. Peace out, and I'll see you next one.